Hello, welcome back to the Soul Current. I'm Lisa. If you've ever experienced what I like to call the what if spiral, some call it the what if syndrome. You know what it is. What if I fail? What if people judge me? What if I'm making the wrong decision? What if I get hurt? What if I finally put myself out there and nothing happens? Everyone, I can safely say, everyone on this planet has been met with the what if spiral at some point in their life. And if you're hearing this thinking, yes, I know this well then this episode is for you. But here's the thing. Most of us will spend our entire lives believing that every thought we have is the truth. Think about it. Every time you think a thought, most of us don't sit back and analyze the thought and go, wait a minute, is this true? Or is this just what I'm thinking is true? A thought enters our mind. We immediately identify with whatever thought we're having. So we think, I'm scared, so this must be dangerous. I'm uncertain, so this must be wrong. Or I'm uncomfortable, so maybe I shouldn't move forward. But what if the voice isn't always your deepest truth? What if the voice that's saying, ooh, I don't know about this, isn't necessarily your deepest truth? What if sometimes the loudest voice inside you is simply the part of you that's trying to keep you safe? So today we're talking about the first voice in the soul framework. It's the mind voice. This is the voice of your thoughts, and it is the voice of protection. Very, very important, valued part of us. It's the voice that analyzes and plans and questions and prepares. And we're going to talk about why the mind is beautiful, why we need it, but also why a life led only by the mind can sometimes keep us very stuck. So if you're ready, let's get into it. The first thing I want you to understand is that your mind is not your enemy. And you need to say that to yourself several times during the process, during this journey of getting to understand yourself deeper, the mind, soul, spirit connection. Just constantly be saying, my mind is not my enemy. For a long time, especially in the spiritual world, we've heard phrases like silence your mind, overcome your mind, defeat the ego. And I do understand what people mean by this. It's just now I look at it very differently because your mind is not something for you to defeat. Your mind is something for you to understand. The more you understand your mind, what your mind is about, what your mind is trying to do, the more you're able to smile and be like, I see what you're doing there, and you know how to handle it. Because truthfully, most of the time, the mind is not trying to sabotage you. It does not. When you get up in the morning and you're like, okay, brand new day, your mind is not in the background going, I'm going to sabotage this day. That's not at all what it's doing. It's actually trying to protect you. So the mind stores things, very good at holding on to things like rejection or embarrassing moments, or those moments of failure, those moments of loss, and those moments of pain. It holds on to those. Its job is to say, okay, let's not let that happen again. But there's a problem with that. And the problem is the mind uses that old information to make new decisions. What I mean by that is the mind will look for evidence when certain things pop up in your life. So if you try something and someone says no, the mind immediately starts collecting evidence of things where this has happened before in your life. And it will say, you see, this is dangerous. Stop trying. Don't go here. We've been down this road before. However, When you learn to identify the different voices, you're able to turn down the mind voice to see if the soul voice concurs with the mind voice. Because the soul might see the same experience quite differently. The soul might actually say, interesting. We learned something here, so we'll simply adjust, but we keep moving. We keep moving forward. Same event, different voices. If you want to really understand your mind, then you first have to understand what it loves. And it loves routine. It loves routine and it loves guarantees. Both make it feel very safe. In other words, your mind wants the map before the journey. That's not always how life works though, right? You don't always have this beautiful roadmap in front of you. Case in point, having a book that you're on your way to getting published. You don't know how that world is going to play out, who that publisher will be. You don't know these things. So it's not possible to have a roadmap before the journey, but your mind does. It wants proof before the step. It wants the outcome before the beginning. But truthfully, almost every meaningful transformation actually requires movement before certainty arrives. This is all part of the awakening process when you're on a spiritual journey. So here's what I want you to do. When a thought shows up, any thought, right? It can be, I don't know if I should go this new route to get home. Or, I don't know, do I want to go to this new coffee shop? It can be any thought you want. A thought shows up, you ask yourself, is this protecting me? Is this based on my present or my past? You'll be able to tell. Because let's just say you want to go to a new coffee shop. If your mind is like, yeah, but remember when we did this before? We went to that new and the coffee was horrible. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll just stick with the coffee shop I always go to. So you know it's based on past. Is this based on fear or is this based on wisdom? You see, if you know already about this current coffee shop, we're just going to stick with this analogy for the moment. Maybe you have direct experience with that coffee shop. Maybe you know where they get their coffee or how they brew their coffee. And maybe you know actual information. That would mean that part of the thought you're having is based on wisdom. But if you know nothing about it, you're just thinking about that time you went to a new coffee shop a few weeks ago and it turned bad, well, chances are this is based in fear. Fear that that first cup of coffee that you're dying to have might not be all that great. And the fourth question I want you to ask yourself is, what would I choose if I trusted myself? And if your answer is, well, if I trusted myself, I'd walk into that coffee shop right there. You see, you're starting to get answers to things. Is this protecting me? Yes, I'm protecting you from having a terrible cup of coffee. Is this based on my present or my past? Past. We've done this before and it didn't turn out great. Is this fear or wisdom? Clearly fear. Fear that you're going to get a cup of coffee that you spend your hard-earned money on and you're not going to like it. And the fourth question, what would I choose if I trusted myself? Well, this coffee shop. You're starting to get the answer yourself. You're starting to learn how your mind works and how to turn down the volume. The mind protects. We need protection. We need that. Sometimes you can meet someone and go, ooh, I don't know what it is about this person, but I don't feel good in their presence. That's worth listening to. Your mind will tell you this person has a scary look on their face. This person is constantly clenching their fists. This person looks like he's about to get very, very angry. Your mind protects, and we need protection. We need logic. Right? If somebody walks in somewhere clenching their fist with an angry face, logically, you know, I should stay away from this person. That is the power of your mind. Your mind is able to take all those cues, use logic to say, stay away. That's the protection. So we need it. So you need your mind in this lifetime. You need planning. Planning helps you organize things. I want to, let's say, open up a business. Okay, well, your mind will help you plan. The first thing you need to do is figure out the business. The second thing you need to do is maybe sit down with a financial planner or somebody at a bank, find out, what do I do to go from here to there? Your mind helps with planning. And then you need wisdom. This is a big part of your mind. When you have had past mistakes and you're faced with the same person that you once made a very bad mistake with, well, that's wisdom. Wisdom is saying, I was with this person before, it was horrible, and I think I should listen this time when I go, not again. Your mind is full of wisdom. But protection is not meant to be a prison. It's not meant to stop you from evolving, stop you from moving forward, stop you from experiencing new parts of yourself, understanding what makes you you in a way you never have before. So while protection is good, you don't want it to come at the cost of your freedom. The mind is a beautiful passenger. It was never meant to be the only driver. It is a passenger. Now, next week, we're going to be moving into the second voice, the additional passenger in this vehicle. That is the soul. The soul is the quiet knowing. It's the part of you that whispers before the world gets loud, before your mind voice steps in and goes, whoa, I'm here. The soul voice, it's the part of you that often knows what matters before your mind starts listing every reason it might not work. Have you ever had a thought, an opportunity, and you get excited about it? Like, it makes you feel alive just thinking about it. Maybe you think, oh my gosh, every time I think of going on an excursion to Bali, I get excited. It fills me with anticipation. And then you think about it, and you start going, yeah, but how am I going to afford this? I can't take that kind of time off work. What if something terrible happens when I'm out there? Is it even safe? Your mind kicks in, boom, overshadows the excited anticipation that you were feeling. And before you know it, you ignore the excited anticipation and you focus solely on all of the mind's chatter. And so next week, when we talk about the soul voice, we're also going to talk about how to incorporate the mind voice into a conversation with the soul voice, meaning that after once you establish, oh my gosh, this makes me feel good, this excites me, that's when you say, okay, now we're going to listen to what the mind voice has to say. You've got your pen, your paper, write it all down. This worries me. Will I run out of money? Is it safe? What if they don't like me? What if I fail? Write it all down. And then you're going to look at each one and you're going to go, which one is valid? Which one should I be paying attention to here? And which one is just mind fear? The what if I fail? The what if they don't like me? That is pretty safe to assume is mind fear. What if they do like you? And what if you do succeed? Where I often explain to people, hey, when it comes to safety, you want to listen. Have you researched the location? Have you researched the people? Have you researched the company? What about the city? What about the neighborhoods? Whatever the decision is, have you done enough research to ensure that your safety has been met? And if you have, great, then you don't need to worry about that. Do you have enough money? Do you have just enough money? Not enough money? Okay, well, maybe that's an area your mind should be listened to. Maybe you need to spend a little bit more time saving up so you have more than enough money. That way, in the event of something you haven't planned for, you have enough to cover it. So you determine what concerns your mind has that are warranted. I'm going to listen to this, and which ones you can say, I hear you, I appreciate your concern, but we're good and we're going to keep going. Your mind voice is powerful. Your mind voice is so important, but it is not the only passenger in this car. So next week, we talk about the other passenger, the soul voice. It's so exciting when you start to understand these voices and apply them to your everyday living, and that is my goal. Listen, thank you so much for spending this time with me. If this message connected with you, you can find more episodes both on YouTube and on my personal website, Lisa McNeil, MacNeill.com. From my heart to yours, keep rising, friends.